Come to join? Sorry, but you're too late. Some brass blades looking for extra coin volunteered, and the team's already en route to the ruins. But look, I know it's not easy to find work these days. If you're interested, there's something else you can do for me. There are these children outside, little ones from Stone's Throw. I look after them when I'm the time to spare, and so they've taken to following me around, even when I tell them not to. But what with the overseeing the search for the vein, I barely have chance to visit the privy at the moment, much less entertain younglings. Can you give them these ginger cookies and convince them to go home for me? Sure, that sounds like a good adventurer job. I'm an adventurer! Here kid, have a cookie. I ain't going nowhere, missus. I'm too hungry to move. Besides, you'll have to carry me. I'll carry you into that barrel behind you. A cookie? Well, if Bison really wants me to go home, then alright. But I want 2 next time. Are you a kid? You're just a Lalafell. Bison's kind to us. I like him. This is for me? I want to eat it, but then again I don't, because then it'd be gone. Tell Bison thanks and tell him I'm sorry for getting in his way. Also, you're a Lalafell, not a kid. But Bison always plays with us. Why won't he come out and play? Wow, a ginger cookie? I better save some for my brother. I know I'll go home and eat it with him. No wonder people say Lalafells look like kids. I like playing with Bison. He makes sure no one bullies us. Bison's worried about us? Oh, I don't want to make him worried. I'm a good girl, so I'll go home. Alright, I got rid of your toddlers. Thank you, adventurer. I only wish I could do more. Stone's Throw is no place for a child. Not that my childhood was much happier. Never enough food to go around, nor work to earn it. But no shortage of contempt for the great and the good. I remember thinking things could only get better, yet now, after the calamity and everything else, for us refugees to be forced to live outside the gates like bloody beastmen is a disgrace. They say with enough money you can change the laws here, so I'm going to make a fortune and do just that. I'll buy the excavation rights and start my own mining business. Then I'll give my fellow refugees the work they're crying out for and pay them fairly. The mining companies have profited from our suffering for too long, but in their hubris they've grown complacent, presenting us with the golden opportunity. And we will take it, adventurer. We will reclaim our dignity, and with it, our place within those walls. We found her. We found the vein. Bison, you must come and see. Already? Amazing. We leave at once. You should join me, my friend. Come and bear witness to the history in making. Balls, son. A vein of ore in the middle of a ruined bloody city? God's damn idiot. What did you think was gonna happen? That you'd strike it rich and get cozy with the Order, while the Masters of Ul'dah looked on? No one crosses the Syndicate. The Syndicate? Ha! Finally sunk in, has it? Well, look at this. Not all your friends have deserted you, it seems. Lucky boy. Now you won't have to die alone. O mournful voice of creation, grant ye this humble stone of a soul, that it may wake to life. Who's that spouting gibberish? Show yourself. This ain't part of the plan. Bloody hells, does Lord Dolorito mean to kill us too? Oh, it's on now. You are strong, but are you strong enough to withstand this? Yes, I will move over here where it won't hit me. I guess the real question is, am I smart enough? And the answer is yes. Yes, I am the smart. So back in the day, when the game first came out, the lag was so bad that you had to actually run past the indicator in order to make sure you didn't get hit. And so I still actually have that trained in my brain from days of raiding back when the lag was so bad, that even though, like, you can stop now right outside of the circle or the indicator or whatever, the area of effect warning, like, I'll still run like an extra foot just because I've been trained now to like run extra far away. That the golem could be vanquished. That woman is no ordinary adventurer. Damn, seems I missed all the fun. I see you didn't need my help this time. I would compose a ballad in your honor, but I fear no words would do you justice. The songstress of Ul'dah herself could not rival your beauty. Oh, stop it. I have oft heard it said that a blossom's beauty can move a man to love and long, but I never truly believed it until I met you two desert roses. I hear they attacked another caravan. Aye, and business is suffering for it. Bloody Amalja, what stirred him up, do you reckon? Another raid, and I'll wager that caravan was carrying crystals much like the last. If they truly mean to summon a primal, we must act quickly. Are you coming, love? You wouldn't keep a girl waiting, would you? Perish the thought. So tell me, where is this marvel of a city might you lovely ladies be staying? At this rate, grain will soon be more precious than gold. A result of the uncommonly bad harvest, to be sure. And we have you to thank for them, do we not? Aye, this weakening of the etheric flow must surely be linked to Dalaman's descent. And, of course, to the primals. A fine mess, but we must not lose hope. L'Issoire will know what to do. We need only trust in his judgment. Truly a marvel of Charlian ingenuity. It's as if I could reach out and touch the ether. Time to focus. No more gallivanting about like before. The Scions are counting on you. Have faith. Just have faith. You can do this. This disturbance is recent. The Sultan Tree? Maybe Papa Sean will know something of it. Looks like they gave you quite a thrashing. Can you walk? It's me. I was too late. Our person of interest had already quit the scene. The General? Very well. I shall be there anon. My colleagues went to great lengths to provide me with the means to detect etheric disturbances, but every time I find one, you seem to be in the middle of it. I'm starting to wonder if it might not be simpler just to follow you around. Sadly, I have business elsewhere. Tread softly, my friend. The carefully laid trap you dismantled was clearly sanctioned by Lord Lolorito. I heard the Blades mention him as they fled. Believe me when I tell you that he is not a man to be trifled with. The Sultana's enemies grow bolder by the day, and I suspect they may have support of outside forces. Thank you. If you hadn't come along, those bastards would have surely slaughtered us all. I would speak with you further, but it isn't safe for us to linger here. Find me at the Coffer and Coffin later. Until then, stay safe. I shall accompany Wyston and his men. They need protection, and I need more information. Ah, but where are my manners? I have yet to properly introduce myself. I am Thancred, a humble scholar surveying the flow of aether in Thanland. So, that vision that we saw is a little confusing even to me now, because part of it is from the game. Remember I mentioned there was like a first version of 14 and then they erased it and put out this Realm Reborn version. So some of what was shown with like the red star and Louisoix and stuff, that's from the first version, and I'm not sure, it's kind of confusing because I'm not sure what the rest of that was meant to really show you. But anyway, here's Thancred in all his glory. I don't know. I hate the guy. It's an honor and a privilege to make your acquaintance. I hope when next we meet, it is under more auspicious circumstances. Farewell. Ah, wait a moment. It occurs to me what we may have. It occurs to me that we may have. Well, never mind. Fairly well. That last bit is like a suggestion that you're the Warrior of Light from the previous version of the game, and that maybe he's met you before. So before I start up again, I just want to point out that all his comments about the previous version of the game, the 1.0 dead version or whatever, or 0.0, whatever they call it, like, you don't have to worry about that if you've never played this game and if you're watching this series, because I think the references to it become less and less over time. I mean, we're only level 10, so the references to it become pretty minuscule after a little bit, and you won't really hear me talk about it much longer. They don't really, after this point, you kind of move on to your own story, and they don't really go back and talk about the other stuff much anymore. Every once in a while, there's like, I can think of like 2 cutscenes particularly where they do, but not very much more. 12 bless you, my friend. You risked your life to save ours. Oh, and also, as you're watching this, I think it's pretty clear to do a good job of making that stuff non-essential to knowledge. Like, you don't have to know what happened. It's more of a, like, if you knew that game, then you get like an extra little benefit of knowing what's going on, but you don't have to know it in order to enjoy this game at all. 12 bless you, my friend. You risked your life to save ours. Betrayed by my own guards. Gods, I was a fool to trust those men. Lolorito owns the gods' damn brass blades. I should have questioned their motives from the start. Even so, I could hardly have predicted that the wealthiest man in Ul'dah would want me dead for the heinous crime of seeking to change the law. I'm just a merchant, for God's sake. That ruthless bastard. And what of that monstrosity? Those were his own men. It beggars belief. Well, that's it. I'm finished. If I stay in Ul'dah any longer, I'm as good as dead. My associates, my friends, gods, even the children may not be safe if I don't disappear. And you, god damn it, if Lolorito learns of your involvement, you'll be next. I'll speak with the others and make sure your part in this stays secret. Beyond that, I don't know what to suggest. Maybe you should seek the counsel of Mistress Momodi. She helped countless adventurers in her time. Mayhaps she'll know what to do. Go quickly now, my friend. Lolorito's spies may be watching. Lolorito doesn't scare me. Except maybe he does. I don't know. Settle down, Soapy. You've got nothing to worry about. No one seems to know you were at the ruins. Wyston, on the other hand, is now a pariah. About as welcome around here as a rabid wolf, poor bugger. Suffice to say, that boy risked the wrath of the wrong man. Lord Lolorito, chairman of the East Aldenard Trading Company, generous contributor to the Order of the Nalthal, and member of the Syndicate. Okay, so there's the Aldenard Trading Company again, so I guess they do mention those, but I don't remember them. Didn't get where he is by leaving loose ends, that one. Which is why he ain't above killing his own men. Hells, even if those blades knew what was coming, it's not like they could refuse to do their benefactor's bidding. Don't let this color your view of Ul'dah, Soapy. It's true that there are some here who aren't afraid to crack a few skulls if it gets them what they want, but most of us are decent folk just trying to make ends meet. You know, a lot of people would call you a damn fool for risking your life to save a marked man. But I believe you did a good thing, Soapy, and for that, you have my respect. Listen, you've been through a lot lately. Why don't you rest a spell? I'll have the boys at the Hourglass set you up with a room. My treat. Just have a word with Atopa Potopa whenever you feel like staying. Lalafell names are great, but hard to say the first time. And when you've got your appetite for adventuring back, consider taking on a guild leave or two. Guild leaves, yes, that's something I don't ever have to do again, thank goodness. Oh god, those are the worst. We have a lot of requests from locals looking to hire adventurers for various jobs. It'll be a good way for you to earn yourself some extra gil. Now if I do end up crafting, I'll have to do some, but I'm not going to craft in this YouTube series, so maybe I don't have to do them. I hope I don't have to do them. I hate them so much. Eustace can tell you more about how the system works, so go and speak with him if you're interested. You now have access to recommendations. This feature displays a list of quests or duties currently available to your area. Yay. You look well, Soapy. I hope you are ready for the next task because I require your immediate assistance. There have been several violent murders recently, the victims of which were all urine milk. Based on the multiple spear wounds found upon the bodies of the deceased, We believe the Lancers are responsible for the crimes. Not only are these murders a blight upon our city, I fear it is only a matter of time before one of our own is targeted. I have just received reports of foreign Lancers skulking about in Stone's Throw. Considering the circumstances, I find it likely that these are our culprits. We cannot abide any more murders. Go to Stone's Throw outside the gate of Nald and speak with any you find in the area. Okay. With luck, we may find these Lancers before they strike again. It only now occurs to me that Final Fantasy XIV is going to be one of those games where, like, I'm going to stumble over reading things a lot, because if you've watched any of my series, you know that I already stumble every once in a while. Not a whole lot, but, you know, you read so much text out loud, eventually you start to have problems. But to make it worse, Final Fantasy XIV is written purposely in, like, an older style of dialogue, so they use not really Shakespeare, but similar verbiage, turns of phrase, things like that. Things that are very similar but slightly off from what is common nowadays. And so yeah, it just becomes, it's just gonna mess me up a lot, because I'm gonna stumble over things that they say every once in a while. Don't kill me, please. I'm not the one you want. Also, the Yurin Min, which is a terrible phrase, but I don't know how else to say it. A Yur, H-Y-U-R, is a human. So, a Yurin is just basically a way of saying a human. They just don't call them humans in this game, they call them Yur. Which is okay, because I think in 11 they were called Hume, H-U-M-E. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense to have a different name for them. Thank you, thank you. They appeared out of nowhere, asked me if I was Aldous at Spear Point. I said no, but they attacked me anyway. What did I do to deserve this? So they're looking for Aldous, the guy in red that we met on the last warrior quest. So they were indeed the murderers we sought. But what about Duskrite freelancers all the way from the Black Shroud? And why were they murdering Yurin men with swords? First sword. What is it? Lancers, first sword. A gang of them hidden in the tunnel south of Blackbrush Station. It seems we're not rid of them yet. Sophie, you might as well finish what you started. Go to Central Thanalan and dispatch the last of these freelancers. Bruce, accompany Sophie. See that she doesn't die. Well, I can keep the last from getting skewered, but I'll patch her up as best I can. Sophie, defend Bruce. He knows powerful healing magics, but he cannot employ them unless you keep all of your enemies occupied. Make sure you command their full attention at all times. I'm counting on you to keep those bastards away from me. Watch me back and I'll watch yours. You have your orders, gladiators. Send these freelancers to the Southern Gate. Alright, Bruce the Big. You're not so big. I guess I'm gonna be in front. I'll take the hits. You big pansy. You're a big pansy is what you are. Bruce the Big Pansy. Oh, I forgot to turn on my thing. So I should turn this on so that I get all the aggro. So, I told you the spin sword thing that I'm doing, right, is like the best thing ever added to Paladin, and I still stand by that. What you had before this for Paladin was what was called Flash, and it literally was just like you would like burst with the shine, and it did no damage, but it had high enmity, so, and it was like a 360 AoE, so you would just go in the middle of a bunch of enemies and hit them with your flash, and it would do no damage, but it would get all the aggro. And it was so powerful, in fact, that, and this goes way back in the day, you used to actually have people. Okay, so there's subclasses in the well, there were subclasses in the game where you could level other classes to get some of their abilities. So you could be like a paladin, and you could have some, not all, but some of the warrior abilities, and vice versa, and other things like that. And you actually used to have to level up some of the other classes in order to unlock a job. So in order to even become a paladin, you had to level up white mage, because, you know, paladins can heal, so it sucked. It was the worst. But what was funny was warriors would level up paladin. Even if you wanted to play warrior, before you could go into dungeons, you leveled up paladin just to get flash, so that you could go into the dungeons, because that was for warrior back in the day. That was like the only way for them to get and hold aggro, was to use flash. So that's how good flash was, except it did no damage. It did no damage. None. Not one bit of damage. So I like this thing, the Total Eclipse, much, much better. Looks like we're done here. Let's head home, Sophie. I could use a drink. Thanks, Bruce. Congratulations on a job well done, Sophie. Bruce says you acquitted yourself well. You have shown tremendous growth since you joined us, and though it pains me to do this, you have earned the right. Sophie, I grant you leave to join other guilds. As you doubtless know, Old Oz is home to both the Pugilist Guild and the Thaumaturge Guild. However, there are also guilds where you may learn something of more peaceful traditions. You may even join the guilds of other nations if that is your desire. Know that I will respect your decision, whatever they may be, so long as you do not forget that you are, above all, a gladiator. You now have access to the armory system. Quests to unlock the other classes can be undertaken by speaking to the receptionist in the corresponding guild. There exist myriad disciplines in Eorzea the adventurers can take up. For the most rewarding experience, however, it is recommended that you first focus on mastering your current class. Before you head off, I want to ask you, Bruce believes the freelancers were out for a bounty. What is your opinion on this, Sophie? Ooh, do I tell her they were tracking a man named Aldous? Because Modi told me not to tell her about... You know what, I am going to tell her. They were tracking a man named Aldous. Aldous? Are you certain that is the name you heard? He's alive? But how? Oh no. Yay, gear sets. Gear sets are great. Just in case you were wondering. So what all that stuff about different guilds was, is that when you hit level... Is this 15? No, when you hit the level 10. Okay, when you hit level 10 and you do this quest, you unlock the ability to go get your gathering and crafting professions. You can't do it until you're level 10, because when you go to other guilds, the guild receptionist here will have that red, this thing right here, this red marker. So until you do that quest, and then when your quest, or when your guild leader, guild master, whichever guild you're in, tells you can have permission to go to the other ones, that's when you can go. The other thing about that is that means that, let's say you're playing as a monk, or let's say you're playing as a gladiator like I am, and you get to level 10 and then you're like, man, this is not the right job for me. You can go try one of the other jobs. Now, if you're watching this and you actually haven't played Final Fantasy before, I really don't recommend doing that until you get to 15, because at level 15 you'll get your well, you'll get the quest to do the thing where you can go to the different nations, and then when you go to the different nations, you can get whatever job you want from any of them, including Thief, which isn't an option to choose at the beginning when you make your character for some reason. Well, I know why. Well, no, I don't know why. In theory, it's because they added Thief in after ARR had been out for a while. Like, it got added in during the stuff that came between the original game and the first expansion. But there's really no reason they couldn't have just made it so that, I guess they didn't want to go through all the hassle of like adding another changing the quest or whatever. But anyway, Thief is actually pretty cool. We may look at that one later.